All right, all right. Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining me at the Believe in Your Better podcast. And along with Believing in Your Better, you are going to ditch the doubt. And this afternoon, I have a beautiful, very active, confident, very inspiring young lady here to discuss how you can be in a dark place, a place of self defeat, and rise like the phoenix. Rise like the phoenix. So, with that, don't forget that the podcast has been created to help others to believe in themselves, help others to understand that, yes, life might throw you some rotten apples, but rest assured you can um, push through that, push all of that, the pain, the defeat, the hurt, and create the life that you have been dreaming about. So as we go forth, I am going to let a very beautiful, again, she is just so sweet, and I appreciate you, Miss um, Janelle Thomas. I deeply appreciate you for coming on. Let me have a few minutes of your day to help me to uplift some others. Okay, you want to go into your bio?
You can go right ahead. You can go right
Oh,
ahead and get
okay.
into it. Yep.
So,
And thank
uh,
you for having me.
oh, of course, of course. I'm thankful that you are helping me. So, Janelle and I met a few years ago, let's say right after COVID,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, right after
2021.
COVID.
Yes, we met at a domestic violence conference in regards to someone was having an event here in Detroit. And that's how we met. We were on a panel together, myself as the clinician giving some tips and helping people to understand what domestic violence is, how it looks. And Janelle is a proud survivor of such a relationship. So that's how we became acquainted, and we have kept in touch and made each other smile ever since, right?
Yeah,
And she's going to
absolutely.
let you know she is very active. She does not let anything stop her from moving and accomplishing her goals. She does not believe in the word defeat by no stretch of the imagination. So I'll let her speak a little bit in regards to some of her accolades.
Well, thank you for mentioning how we met, Dana. I think it is by no short of the word what we use happenstance that we
Mm-hmm.
did encounter each other. At the time when we met, I was coming on the tail end of my domestic violence, not just relationship, but marriage.
Okay.
And it was short-lived, maybe no more than 6 months. But in that 6 months, I had to endure um, what I call a situation that put me in a space of defeat and doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And the defeat wasn't just about the failing of the marriage, but feeling as if I deserved what was happening to me, but something in the back of my mind knew that no, you didn't. So when
Okay.
you're challenging yourself to figure out what is this that I'm dealing with, and then to be sitting next to a clinician knowing I had not even sought help yet.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the
Oh,
middle of
okay.
it, but I
Okay.
was talking through my hurt, my pain, and my trauma to help other people in the midst of while I was going through it.
Okay.
Um, so just meeting you in that panel discussion, didn't know I was going to be asked. I literally had no idea that I was going to be on that panel, but I
Oh,
was
okay.
randomly asked. I was supposed to be on the panel for breast cancer because my domestic violence and breast cancer situation happened at the same time.
Okay. Okay.
And then when the conversation on that panel changed to about domestic violence, I couldn't sit in silence, knowing
Okay.
I was on the cusp of sitting as a victim. But in my
Mm-hmm.
heart and my mind, I knew I was on the path of surviving it. And I had
Right.
already made the decision. I wanted the relationship to end. I knew how to end it. I had an exit strategy and I was going
Mm-hmm.
forward with it. I just had not sought the help for my own mental well-being.
Okay. Now,
And
see, I thought the I thought the breast cancer experience was after the domestic violence.
Same
Okay, but it
time.
was at the same time. All right, all right.
The completion of my treatment was after.
Mm-hmm.
I had made a decision when I had got diagnosed I got married in July,
Okay,
and then by October, I got the diagnosis and I was in treatment November, December, January, all the way up until August.
okay,
So I
okay.
was in the process of figuring out getting multiple doctors' reviews and understanding of what was happening. I was
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed with fibrocystic breast disease, something I had never even heard of.
Okay,
Went through constant surgeries and aspirations to deal with the lumps and the aspirations that come from cysts that were developing in my breast. And there
okay,
was two at that time that they diagnosed to be cancerous.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
It's,
when all that was happening, I was, like I said, in the middle of this relationship that I had not understood how it got there, but I
mm-hmm.
took it on. And because I love the individual, of course, but that quickly turned into something that I couldn't handle.
So
Um,
let me ask you this: when you said that, like you and this man you were dating, and you got married.
mhm.
And so when as the newlywed stage of the marriage, is that when you began to see some signs that, hey, wait a minute, this is a little off keister, or did you recognize some traits when you were dating, and like you said, oh, this is a part of relationships, or
I
this is
ignored
not what
it.
it looks
I
like?
saw some things while I was dating, but because it
Okay,
wasn't directed at me, I ignored it.
okay,
I saw
okay.
the anger, I
Mm-hmm.
saw the alcoholism, but I didn't take it to be something that I could not. I looked at it as it was his problem. And it
Okay,
wasn't mine,
okay.
not thinking that when you're in relationship with someone, whatever they are, whoever they are,
Mm-hmm.
what they do, it becomes a part of you. I
Yes.
separated myself from knowing that he had anger tendencies, but because they
Okay.
were never, like I said, directed at me, I didn't I didn't think anything of it. I just was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, he a hothead. He got a little temper, or somebody upset him. Not that he was the one that constantly was
Mm-hmm.
angry. For whatever
Right.
reason, he never dealt with the root of his own anger, and I
Mm-hmm.
became the subject.
Okay. Okay. So when you were moving forward, like you said, you had to address what was going on in the relationship. So now, were you talking with friends or were you reading up on it?
No, I didn't talk with friends. I might have talked with my aunt that I trust.
Okay.
Um, and that was probably about it. It was two aunts that I confided in about what was happening in my
Mhm.
relationship. And it all came revealed to me on my honeymoon.
Oh,
So
okay. So quickly.
it
So
was
how long did you
quickly.
guys date though?
We dated off and on for a total of 4 years because I had moved away. I moved
Okay.
out of state for work and I still had a long distance relationship with him.
Okay.
We dated long distance through COVID. And in my mind, in COVID, I'm saying, oh, okay, this is the end of the world. I might as well stick with the devil I know. Instead of getting
Okay.
out here, I hate to say
Okay.
it like that.
No, but that's an
Instead of
honest,
getting
but
out
that is
here
an honest
and
view. Mm-hmm.
yeah, instead of
Mm-hmm.
getting out here and finding someone new who I was potentially, I didn't want to catch COVID. I was nervous. I didn't want to date. I didn't want to, I just, and our relationship had honestly ended because I had saw a blow up from the anger. And I just
Okay.
decided, oh no, I don't want that to be a part of my life. And so
Okay.
how sad of me that God gave me an out. He took me to a whole nother state across the United States. And I
Right.
still came
And
back,
still went, yeah.
went
Okay.
back. I doubled back, what they say, bent the corner, or I gave it a second chance when I'm looking at it and I knew that it was wrong and it was not right for me. It's almost like it reminded me of the movie Sinners when the devil is outside the door and you
Mm-hmm.
know what it is and you welcome
Okay.
him back in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you welcome them back in, you welcome them back in with everything else that had attached itself to that person, seven
Mm-hmm.
times more than the one issue or two issues that you had already rid yourself of. So
Okay.
I, um, and I don't fought myself for being a loving, caring, kind person and looking at people for who they genuinely are because I'm an empathetic person. And
Okay.
I love love. And
Now,
I was
did you
willing
think
to
you were
help.
going to change him?
I sure did. And I didn't
Okay.
realize how powerful less I was. I was
Right.
really weak in a space where, as women, we think I can love him through it. I can
Mm-hmm.
help him through it. I'll show him
Right.
a better way. I'm a different woman. He might have
Yes.
done it to someone else, but he'll never do it to me.
Right.
I was
Right.
completely, utterly wrong and ill thinking in myself to think that I was that powerful to
Mm-hmm. Or
sit
in control of that.
and I don't have that type of power. I got power in other, we as women, we got power in other ways,
Yes.
but it's how we utilize it. And to think that I was going to have such an impact on this man that I could make him be something other than who he was
Mm-hmm.
and who he
Mm-hmm.
had already showed me who he was, it was a
Mm-hmm.
life lesson to me.
Okay. Okay. So, um, fast forward us to when you saw that you needed to leave, or well, no, before leaving, tell us how your life had changed from the positive, being cheery about getting back with him, even though, like you said, in the back of your head, it's like, this is a little shaky, but I'm gonna move through it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
process through it.
yeah.
So when did your life begin to change? Like, oh, okay, this was a big mistake.
When it was revealed to me by accident that there was an alcohol problem and
Okay.
that there was a drug abuse problem.
Okay. How
Um,
was it an accident?
I wasn't supposed to find the pills. I
Oh,
wasn't supposed to see him in the act of using testosterone shots and steroid shots that he had gotten off the black market. I
mm-hmm.
wasn't supposed to see him using other drugs that I had never, I don't know what cocaine or heroin or anything looks like.
Okay.
Because I just didn't grow up having that knowledge,
Exactly.
line of sight to know, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
person might have an addiction. Um, I was blinded. And when I approached and asked about it, I was lied to. I was manipulated to believe that I was the one that was thinking something other than what it was. But my mind went back. My mind went back all the way to when we first met, and his
Mm-hmm.
ex-wife texted me and told me, watch out for these things.
Oh, really?
And I
Okay.
disregarded the text. I said, oh, maybe she's just angry that he's moved on.
Okay.
Why would she share this with me?
Mm-hmm.
Even in my intelligence and being a woman who has education, I didn't even think to run a background check because it would have showed me there was domestic violence already on the record. There
Oh,
was
okay.
multiple
So
DUIs
he
on
had
the
some
record
cases out there.
already
Really?
with the previous wife. And I ignored it all
Okay.
until it was right there in front of me. And I knew that I didn't want that life for my children. I was a
Mm-hmm.
single mom, had been raising two amazing children by myself, and had been married once. And
Okay.
here I am 14 years later, embarking on what I thought was the love of my life. And
Okay.
it was a very deceptive, manipulating situation where I was looked at as the funder of the habit because I was an
Oh,
accomplished,
really?
successful woman in my field.
Okay. So now tell me this. Did you have feelings of being insecure in the sense of I won't find anybody else. I might as well battle this out. It can get better. Tell me
At
what do
times,
you feel?
at times, when you're dealing with a man who wants to brainwash you into thinking that
Okay.
no one else will want you
He was
or that they're the
gaslighting a
only
lot.
one for you, I
Hmm.
went through a lot of psychological abuse.
Okay. That's
Basically using words and even scripture to
hmm
manipulate me to stay in the relationship because I believed in the sanctity of marriage. Or
yes.
the Bible says, husbands love your wives, and
Hmm.
so forth. I'm supposed to submit. And it was so much of that that it almost got to me mentally where I
Hmm.
psychologically could not function. I couldn't function at work. I
hmm
was no longer going to church. I wasn't
Okay.
around my family. I defended him to my family members, and relationships in my family had broken because
Mm-hmm.
I believed so much in him and his ability to change that I forgot about him. I forgot about my family. I forgot about my children. Work didn't
Okay.
matter. And then I started forgetting about me.
Yes.
And
Okay.
even
Okay.
thoughts of no longer existing came into my mind. So, and at that time, I was training to become a suicide ideation coach.
Okay.
And I was having the thoughts, and I can easily see how people can get here when they're constantly being berated with verbal
Mm-hmm.
abuse or
Mm-hmm.
told or called everything under the sun about who they are, um, with the
And
same
they,
person
yeah,
that you say you love. And
and
that
they
person's
don't
supposed
have
to love
any.
you.
They get to feeling as if they don't have anywhere to turn,
Yep,
especially with the self isolation.
yep,
So he's working on isolating you, and then you begin to isolate yourself.
yes,
Yes.
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 And I would take drives in my car and tell myself I wasn't coming back. Or I
Okay.
would drive until I couldn't see an end, even if
Mm-hmm.
that end meant a cliff or off a freeway. Those
Mm-hmm.
are the psychological things that happen when you're going through
Mm-hmm.
domestic violence because you're not in control of you anymore. And
Right.
you're really not fighting a person. I really had to get spiritually grounded to understand, am I fighting? Who am I fighting? Is this a person or is this a demonic spirit? And
Mm-hmm.
I really had to surrender my will and get out of the way and really pray. It was
Mm-hmm.
really I was ashamed because I am a person of I have a great career. I have impact and influence. We didn't talk about all my stuff, my accolades
Right.
in the beginning, and I didn't want people to see me as in a marriage a second time that failed. I didn't want to be seen as a failure to my children or to
Mm-hmm.
my family. And so I suffered for
Through.
six
Yes.
months in silence. There are two girlfriends. I would run to their house, sleep on their couch, or stay in their guest room. And I would
Okay.
not come home because I wanted out. I just didn't know what was going to happen for me to get out. But I wore a mask, Dana. I put up such a good front that
Mm-hmm.
nobody would ever know that I was in a horrible marriage. Every picture, even though pictures are only 2 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
they don't tell the real story where people would see us and they thought, oh, that's just a great couple. They had no
Okay.
idea that I was suffering.
So now tell me this. So some of your awards, like um the what is this? The first African American woman to become a director of employee relations at Meta. Now that is present day, but weren't you gathering accolades and doing awesome work during that time?
I was the first, not just Meta, I was also the first African American to be on the Center of Excellence for Employee Relations for Nike, Jordan, and Converse,
Okay.
all while I was going through this.
Okay.
And that's where I said the long distance relationship had ended and then it picked itself back up. I
Mm-hmm.
said God gave me an out. He blessed me with a dream job that I could not have even imagined that I was going to receive.
Okay.
And in that space of being in Portland and knowing I'm from Detroit and trying to do work in the community back in Detroit and flying back and forth
Mm-hmm.
because I love what I do. In
Okay.
the space, I've been in HR for 26 years. I do workforce development is what they call it now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been coaching and guiding people on resume writing, interview skills, salary negotiations, labor relations and contract negotiations, conflict resolution, leadership
Okay.
development. So, all these great and wonderful things to improve other people's
Yes.
lives.
Yes.
But I
Right.
am the one that was needing help. But because I had to show up at my highest level of excellence all the time, I
Mm-hmm.
kept what was hurting and what was killing me on the inside bottled up and
Okay.
no one ever knew. So all of these amazing things are happening in my career while I'm dating this man and then I marry him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you consider the biggest internal battle in regards to, like you said, dealing with this volatile relationship, along with working and healing through breast cancer, what do you feel is it was the turning point for you? What shifted you? I know you said you had to be grounded spiritually. But I often, with that, we accept Christ. We walk in some of the scriptures. However, do we really pay attention when you're praying? Are you moving in the direction of what your prayer is, the strength of it, or the value of it? So,
I
walk
have
us
to
through
be
that.
honest,
How did
where
you feel?
I thought that I was praying, but I wasn't. I was pleading. I was
Okay.
crying out and I was bleeding
Okay.
out emotionally. And it was my son who heard me in my closet crying and
Mm-hmm.
knocked on the door and said, Mama, come out.
Okay.
And he said, I'm not just telling you to come out the closet, but come out the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When we sit down as a family, he said, I'm your son and my sister. When you look at everything you've done to raise us, you don't need him. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're sitting there thinking that you need this person, you
Mm-hmm.
don't. It was my son
I was going to say your
that
baby
said,
came to
come
you.
out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it took my child to call me out
Mm-hmm.
to say, I'm looking at you and I'm looking at him. And if anything, you're bringing life to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not
There you
bringing life
go.
to you, he's killing you. And
Yes.
you
Yes.
can't, I don't want to let my mother die in this situation. He said, I will kill him before I let him take my mama out.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
was that day, and I want to say a week after that, I had a vacation plan for my whole family. And I looked at him and I said, you won't be going, but me and my children will be going. And while I'm there, I hope you have a plan to not be here when I return. Because when
Mm-hmm.
I return, I'm making every effort to end this marriage. And I'm
Okay.
and I took my
So
kids
now,
on
did you?
vacation and I wrote out my
Okay.
plan.
All right. And you announced it before you left. So how did that work?
I said what I had to say and I walked out the I'm
Okay.
going to the
Oh, and
airport.
okay. And he didn't try to hold you back or prevent you. Yeah, you know how sometimes
I
they
didn't
try to
even wait
prevent
for a
that progress.
response. I said it and I walked out the door.
Okay.
And
Okay. Good.
whatever he needed to do to process, I didn't care if it was destroy the house, destroy everything was covered in insurance. I didn't care about none of that. If
Okay.
he could, this man made a whole video, Dana, on Facebook and put his sorrows on Facebook of me. And it was just really, it turned from love to obsession to possession to
Okay.
psychologically turning himself
Mm-hmm.
into a victim while I'm
Mm-hmm.
out of the country. And I'm literally detoxing myself, my children
Mm-hmm.
to properly prepare them. When we get
Okay.
back home, it's going to be different.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Okay.
reached out to Haven in Pontiac.
I was just
Yep.
about to say, so what resources did you use when you came back home?
I
Okay.
actually reached out to them at the airport and I got a counselor on the phone and they talked me through and I said, this is what I'm preparing myself to do in the
Mm-hmm.
event that I need to escape my home for a little while. I don't mind
Okay.
coming to a domestic violence shelter if that's where I have to go. But they gave me everything I needed to not have to leave because I had multiple police reports already in the system. I had 8. And
Okay.
they said, no, you should be able to have a PPO by now. Why don't you have a PPO? So they
Mm-hmm.
assisted me in getting the protection I need so that I can come back home with a PPO already in place.
Okay. Okay. And he would have to leave.
Yep.
Like the sheriffs would, if he didn't leave, the sheriffs would come and
They
escort him
escorted him
away.
out. They
Okay.
did. Because he
Okay.
refused. He refused to leave. I ended up
Of course.
calling my
Yeah.
brother, a couple of my brothers and my nephews to be there when I returned. And
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much what happened. He
Okay.
refused to leave, became very belligerent,
Mm-hmm.
very dogmatic, and very territorial because he put out that it was his home. It wasn't, it
Okay.
was my home.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, having to walk away from something that I provided, it was probably hurtful. I'm sure it was. It was devastating, but it was an end to everything that I had endured. And I
Okay.
just wasn't going to do it anymore.
All right. All right. So Haven gave you the necessary resources for you to start constructing that leeway for yourself. And so now, how old were the kids at this time?
Oh, my son would have been a freshman in high school. He is now
Okay.
going to be, I want to say it was 4 years ago.
Mhm.
because my
Oh,
daughter is about to be no, she was a freshman. He was in middle school going into his freshman year of high school. So it was 4 years, and she's now
mhm.
about to be a senior in college.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. They are marvelous as well. They're doing
yeah,
it.
yeah. But that is because I can say, had I stayed, the way that my life shifted and changed and all the opportunities that opened up itself for me would not have
Hmm.
happened if I had not went through that. And I
Right.
went through it so gracefully that so many people didn't know. But instead of suffering in silence, I took my pain and turned it into someone else's ability to see that doubt and what is the other topic we were talking about?
Self-esteem.
Doubt and defeat
Yes.
did not hold me back because I began to understand how powerful those two things were. And if
Hmm.
I can take my space of being in a space of doubt for myself, feeling like that there was no end and feeling
Okay.
completely defeated, I
Hmm.
could use that to help change the trajectory of other women, including young girls, to learn
Right.
more about the power that lies in them and that they don't have to suffer in silence like
True.
I
True.
did.
And
And
become more
the
aware
way it can
in dating.
paralyze you, it
Yes.
can erode your confidence and destroy your entire reality.
Hmm. Yes.
Those two things are, and let me not say the word, but it will sabotage your potential.
Absolutely. Because
I did
you're
not
not believing
realize.
in yourself. You're not moving. You're doubting yourself before you even give yourself the opportunity to have this chance. You shut
Yeah,
yourself down. Again, the yeah, once that self-esteem is stomped on and you don't like grab a hold to it and say, you know what? No, I am stronger than this. I do hold uh a greatness within me. Look, um, Les Brown. I went to one of his training camps, and
mhm.
he had
I
the
need that.
the composure of there is greatness within you, and he always says it in his speeches, and that's exactly what it is. We have the spirit of God in us. We have the His light. So how else can you move? Why wouldn't you
I
be able to
decided,
move?
Dana, that while I was on that trip, I wrote it in my journal, and I still say it every time I get an opportunity to go
Hmm.
speak to women, not just about domestic violence or not just about breast cancer, but
Hmm.
anything, even young people.
Hmm.
Doubt is not it's a signal. It's not a sentence.
Hmm.
And I look at defeat the same way. It is a moment, and it is not your identity.
Right, right. It's not forever.
I say that to
Not
people because I
forever.
want them to hear it. When you get into a space of doubt, it is your body telling you it's a signal that something's there. Either
Hmm.
you're going to subject yourself and sentence yourself in a space of, when you think of a sentence, you think of a long-term situation that you stuck.
Right, right.
But when I hear sentence, I hear, let me rewrite the sentence. What do I
Hmm.
want this space to mean? So it signals me that I need to shift,
Okay.
come out of doubt and turn it into something positive, because doubt signals your body to stop, to slow down, to break
Hmm.
down, to cry, to rethink, to overthink, to obsess yourself with that one piece of your mind going to that one word, doubt. You got all these signals happening in
Hmm.
your body,
Right,
and you
right.
feel like you're about to suffer a lifelong sentence of just being in a space of doubt, because what's tied to doubt is depression, anxiety. It's connected to so many other
All of
things.
those, like you said, the shame, especially if it's something as intensified as uh, domestic violence or an illness or
Mhm.
something that someone told you when you were a youngster that, oh, you know that you can't have this because you're this.
Right.
And it's halting. It's halting. You decide or you get fixated on or thinking that, well, I'm not good enough for that. I'm not strong enough for that. But really, absolutely are.
You
You just
are.
have long as you hear. Long as you hear,
Long
yes,
as
you
you
are.
are on this earth, you have an opportunity to
Yes.
change anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you, and after I got out of that relationship and got through the cancer, I met a gentleman. I had decided that I wanted to learn how to tell my story without crying. I
Okay.
wanted to learn how to tell my story without fear, without shame, and without any concern of what anybody was going to think of me. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, Janelle, you just did it in a conversation with me. He said, now do it publicly. I said,
Okay.
I don't know how. He said, but you talk about HR stuff all the time. Let
Mm-hmm.
this be your topic because there's somebody somewhere who is sitting in the same space that you were in, covering it up with a mask,
Mm-hmm.
and they are afraid to walk away because they feel like they can't afford to, or they're going to lose something that they can't get that's not going to be replaced, be it job, be it home, be it car, be it
Mm-hmm.
safety.
Right.
And he said, you did it so quick. You know how many people suffer for years? They need to know from you. People will relate to you. He paid $100. He said, I'm gonna send you $100. There's a public speaking training class that's going on for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Start teaching yourself how to be what it is you always wanted to be. And in my mind, I was like, I always wanted to do public speaking, but God told me you ain't had nothing to talk about. Now you got now you got something that you can talk about. But it was me having to go through a trial and a
Okay.
test in order to have a testimony. And since then, I have been called upon to speak on different topics, not just about domestic violence, but also about breast cancer awareness. And I have been on a journey of 3 letters, 2 words. It's called I am. I affirm me. And
Mm-hmm.
anything that you put after those two powerful words,
Right.
I speak to people and I
Absolutely.
tell them, make it your reality.
Absolutely. Yes. And you have to be mindful because when you say, I am less than, I am not qualified, I am fat, I am ugly, whatever you put behind it, you're putting strength, you're putting power behind it. So why not say what you dream of? Why
Yeah.
not say what you're destined for? So tell me this. So now when you think about all of this, um, what do you believe now that you didn't believe when it was initially happening?
What do I believe now that I didn't believe when it was happening?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe it was happening to me. And
Okay.
I had a mindset that it wasn't going to be me. But
Okay.
I know now you can never say what you're going to do until it
Mm-hmm.
happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe now that I'm a lot stronger than I gave myself credit for,
Okay.
that I had a lot of strength where I thought I was weak, but I realized now I had the power all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
just didn't
absolutely.
I just didn't activate it
Absolutely. I
because
tell my
I
clients
let
that all
that
the
doubt and I
time.
let that defeat and I let that fear literally cripple me.
Mm-hmm.
And so worried about what is my family gonna think? What
Mm-hmm.
are my friends gonna think?
Yes.
I done spent $20,000 on this wedding. I just threw away money in my 401k and what I couldn't look at myself.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I got this narcissistic demon telling me who I am. And so I'm in this mental struggle.
Right.
And now
Right.
I don't even, when people speak negatively to me, I laugh. Or I see
Okay.
things that are
You see.
happening around me. I say, I done been through far worse than this. What else you got? You got to come with something else. Or
Right.
I hear things like now when people I tell young people that when people speak negatively, they're cursing your name. So why don't you sit in silence or sit in your time of space? And when you're walking around, I walk around, I'll go for a walk every morning and I pray. If my name is going to be spoken in negative, Lord, I want you to reverse that curse and turn it into a positive. That every time my name is said, it comes with money, it comes with opportunity, it comes with a
Mm-hmm.
blessing, it
There you
comes with
go.
purpose, and it comes
Abs-
with prosperity. So tell
yes.
those who say my name, keep saying it
Mm-hmm.
because you ain't doing nothing but attaching your words to be shifted onto the blessings I already covered myself with.
Okay. And I
So
was just about to ask about your what mantra do you have for yourself? That was perfect. And
Every morning
and it
I go to
shows
my
your belief.
affirmations, I pray, and I go for that morning walk and I command my day. And I notice that the more that I do that and I listen, now I listen to different frequencies. I'm
Hmm.
becoming more spiritually grounded. I hug trees.
I
I
know,
have
right? Right.
just like, okay, if I don't have anything to hug, I'm gonna become one with nature. And there's something about that that is a spiritual connection to the earth
Absolutely.
and to
Yes.
understand God's nature and pay attention to
Especially by
the
the
sound.
water.
Yeah, and I have a lake down
Especially by the water.
at my subdivision to pay attention to everything that's around you. And when you get into that still pace of silence, you can hear God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In times when there's chaos and confusion, sometimes you have to silence the noise
Absolutely.
and find time to
Absolutely.
just listen to get direction. And it has not failed me over the last 3 years. Every time I've said, okay, God, I need direction. I don't know what I'm doing. He'll
Mm-hmm.
say, go left. I don't know what's to the left, but I trust that what I'm doing is in his will, so I go left. And
Okay.
even when I'm on that path and we're still met with conflict from men, women, anything, work,
Mm-hmm.
I know how to handle it.
Right.
And
Everything
he's
does
already
not
prepared
upset
it
you.
because that's the direction that I was told to go. So I know that if I get there and I'm met with something, it's already handled and taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a space now, Dana, after all of this domestic violence and hurt and things of that I went inward to almost take myself out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have a purpose to bring others along and love on other people and meet them where they are. A lot
Okay.
of times when people meet me or they look at me, they don't know that I am very humble and grateful and kind and considerate. I
Mm-hmm.
get met with, oh, you're intimidating, or your looks or your eyes are very piercing, or we don't know what people don't know what to say to you. So I have to break the ice a lot
Okay.
with people to say I'm human. And I've probably had some sufferings that you have no idea of what I've been through. And let me share it with you. Or I listen to people when they want to talk to me because I might be entertaining the angel that God sent to me just to listen
Okay.
and share my story. And I love on people in a different way.
Your way.
But I ain't afraid to call out a demon no more either. If I see one,
Their
I'm like, oh,
foolishness.
okay, that's the
Yes.
spirit you have. That is the energy that you possess. Well, we're going to put a force field up over here because we operate at a higher frequency. And I believe my vertical relationships are sometimes stronger than my horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't meet me in the same flow that you operate under a higher power, we probably won't communicate long because I'm going to go the other direction and just
And
bless you to
not
be
put
who
up
you
with that.
are.
Yes, ma'am.
But
Yes.
that comes with going through some of the hardships that I've had to go through
Mm-hmm.
to get to a
And
place of
you
peace.
finally realizing too who you are and whose you are, what strength that you're walking in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And to understand that it's always yours to command. Always. It's always yours to direct.
Yeah.
And
Every day.
quiet as it's kept, some of those movements are because we gave. They didn't take it. We
I
gave it.
gave it
There's
up.
absolutely no way that they could get it if we holding on to it. But
Yeah.
we give it up for whatever the reasons, right? And we're giving it out of love, but some of it is fear.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So I like what you just said about commanding your day. So now, if you, like you said, you speak to a lot of people, young ones, directed towards our audience listeners who may be, let's say, 45, 50, 55, and they're stuck. They're
Hmm.
stuck. Maybe they're not in a violent or a volatile relationship, but they're stuck. They're not believing in themselves. They've been in this job for 30 years and they're thinking about their future, which is, frequent. They might have another 30, 35 years here,
Hmm.
but they can't see themselves in a different space. So, what would you suggest to them to how can they get unstuck? What would you think would be something that they can put into effect right now?
Um, When I hear people that say they're stuck, I don't see them as being stuck. So what I say to people is you're only in a delayed situation.
Okay,
Feeling stuck doesn't mean you failed. And it
exactly.
also don't mean that you can't get to the next place. It could mean that you are called to pause. But
Mm-hmm.
while you're in the pause, are you breathing? Are you realigning? Are you reassessing why
Yes.
you're sitting in this space of feeling stuck? One, how did you get here?
Mm-hmm.
What steps are you going to take to get out? And sometimes it's in quiet times.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's hidden messages that tells you to keep going, but you're not listening to them. You're not receptive. Your ears are not open to hear that you can move and you
Okay.
can change. I talk to people all the time, Dana, about this and transitioning their careers.
Yes. Yes.
They
I do
think
too.
I've been in this job for 20 some years. This is all I know how to do. And I would ask them, what did you manage? In the
Mm-hmm.
absence of a manager, did you lead any efforts? Oh, yeah. Well, then you're a manager.
Right. Right.
You just don't have it on your
Let's tweak
resume
it.
that you manage people and that you managed a task. In the absence of your manager, you might not have had the title to
Mm-hmm.
call yourself manager or director, but
Right.
you did it as a function. And you didn't
Absolutely.
even realize you were doing it on a day-to-day basis. So I
Mm-hmm.
give words of encouragement to tell people if you feel stuck, just move. Because guess what? If you stuck, you can't move. You can get unstuck
Mm-hmm.
and use everything you have to make it through. Because each time you're sitting there, it may be, like I said, it may just be a season where you're in a place of difference. And sometimes when you feel stuck, it's because it's something you need to learn or
Mm-hmm.
something that in that situation that you need to grow out of. Because we're as long as we're living, we're supposed to be growing. We're not supposed to
Exactly.
be in a stagnated space. But
Exactly.
I tell people don't confuse getting stuck with being broken.
Okay. And tell me this. How, well, again, with being stuck, the thought, the premise, the energy of being stuck, do you help them to understand when, like you said, move? In
Move,
some form of
momentum.
fashion, you need to be moving. If it,
Momentum,
yes,
momentum builds movement, not perfection, but
right,
it's movement towards perfection.
right. And just stay in that frame. As long as you're, like you said, you're learning, you're recalculating your situations, you are bringing new life, stirring up new energy within yourself, everything else will start falling into place. But you have to move. You can't just sit dormant and think that
No, and
things
then
will
I also tell
change.
people be gentle with yourself.
Yes,
Give
yes,
yourself grace
some
and
compassion.
don't give yourself compassion and give
Mm-hmm.
yourself the care that you are due to yourself, that this may not be the space that you want to be in.
Okay.
But when you're gentle with yourself, the fact that you are aware
Mm-hmm.
that this ain't it, that is showing that you care about you and you
Yes,
care about your legacy and you care about the outcome of your life and you care about, and the fact that you are trying
absolutely.
to even have a
Absolutely.
conversation about, I don't like what's happening. I don't know where I'm at. That's an
Mm-hmm.
effort. Now, all you got to do is act on that effort. All of that trying, rethinking, making yourself aware, showing that you care about you are all elements of strength.
Yes, yes. Isn't
And
that
that's how
clear?
you
Look, that
start to
that
change.
just sounds so good.
That's how you start change, right?
That sounds so good, like delicious. That sounds like
That's
yes.
how you start to get to a space of change.
Mm-hmm.
And that the moment won't last forever. But
Right.
if you
It's a
don't move,
moment.
if you
Mm-hmm.
don't act, if you don't do something, it takes us right back to scripture. As much as people don't want scripture, I'm going to give it to them because I'm a woman of
Right.
faith. Faith without works is dead. You could sit there all day long. Oh, God gonna send me somebody. Oh, God gonna help me get this job. I got the faith that I'm gonna get out this situation. And you sitting there like this. You're not working towards it. Your,
Mm-mm.
your faith ain't even being activated until you
Mm-mm.
move and do so. Even if it's writing the vision or the plan, that is movement.
Or showing gratitude Take one scripture and move off of it. What is it saying? So, but you have to be involved in it. That's what I try to help people understand. You have to be involved in whatever the dream is. It's not just happening, it's not just pouring on you without any action or movement from you,
Yeah.
without any acknowledgement of greatness from
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And look around you,
Mm-hmm.
your circle of influence. I have
Mm-hmm.
had to change my circle every year. Before I got
Okay.
married, while I was married, after I was married,
Okay.
when it was time for me to become an empty nester, you have to constantly look at the evolution of you.
And that's a good
And if
acknowledgement.
people don't
Very
serve
good.
your highest good, and if
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to see you win, and if they don't, I have had people say, "Well, girl, having a piece of man is better than no man." I wish Betty Wright hadn't put that in that song because
Right. It's like, wait a minute, what?
you mean to tell me you rather have a piece instead of the whole?
Mm-hmm.
That means you're settling for less,
Mm-hmm.
and you think less of yourself that you don't deserve the best.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the best comes from you, give yourself the best so that when the next man comes, he's going to have to elevate and level up to what he already see you do for yourself and how you treat yourself.
Right.
You
Right.
created a
How do
standard.
you treat yourself?
And if the
Yes.
standard before was, I take it, I'll just deal with it, that's low standard and that's low vibrational thinking.
Mm-hmm.
After going through something that has gotten you so low to the floor and you got out of it, you ought not expect nothing but the best for yourself and better than what you had before. Otherwise, that's like you going back and eating your own vomit.
Mm-hmm. Taking
You
so
live
much
off of that.
less.
That's poison. You putting poison back into you. But elevate your thinking. And I just love the space I'm in right now, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get to be so honest and genuine and real with people, male or female,
Mm-hmm.
and give them the truth about my life and my experiences and
And
my
your
hurts
growth.
and my pains. And
Yes.
I have grown and I've
Yes.
had to water myself. I've had
Mm-hmm.
to been my own fertilization, but I also had to pick up pieces from different people who have come in and out of my life, and I don't take nobody for granted, whether I'm still talking to them or not. They
Mm-hmm.
imparted something into me that it was useful for me at that time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to be in tune with God to say, how long should this person be in my space? Is it
Mm-hmm.
time for me to shift? And I got to listen. I gave you what you was going to get from that friendship.
Right.
I got somebody else waiting to give you the next thing.
Right. And so now all right, give our listeners um some information or knowledge in regards to actually letting go of others who family members, siblings, like you said, employers, uh, well, friends that you've been friends with since kindergarten, but they don't, what did you say? Water
Serve
you.
your highest good.
Serve your highest good. They're not watering you, they are not giving you nurture. So, give a little tidbit on how to, some that you got to cut down at the root and get rid of it. And then those others, because of the connection that you have, you do have to, what I want to say, deal with them,
Uh-huh.
but not give them all of you.
Let me just start by saying, you are allowed to outgrow people.
Yeah,
It is
absolutely.
okay.
Yes,
You are
ma'am.
allowed to evolve beyond relationships that drained you,
Hmm.
confused you, or caused you to shrink.
There you go.
Letting
There you
go
go.
is not betrayal, it is self-preservation. Not
That's very
everyone
good.
can walk with you when you're walking to the next level. I know we hear that a lot. Some were only meant to teach, some were came to challenge you, some
Hmm.
came to reveal. When their season ends, release them,
Hmm.
but do it with peace and not resentment.
Right.
Because
And
you're gonna
love.
see when you
It doesn't
cross
have to
that
be in
path
anger.
again,
Yes, ma'am.
you might gather some haters because you left it in a peaceful space.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can discern what you deserve from relationships that water you, you know the difference when you're not being watered.
Mm-hmm.
And you deserve that. You deserve relationships, and I'm saying this to your listeners, that water you, not the ones that wither your spirit.
Ooh. Ooh. I
If you're
like that.
only the one that's
I
pouring,
like that. Yes.
eventually you will run dry. So
Mm-hmm.
be very specific about choosing mutual growth and not emotional depletion.
Yes. I tell my clients all the time, it's two people in the relationship, and you can't work the position of both parties.
Yep.
You
And,
cannot.
and and letting go, it doesn't make you cold.
Right.
It makes
No.
you very warm and it gives room for other
For you to
warmth to come
flourish.
in. It
Yes.
gives room for peace. It gives room for clarity. It gives room for people who see you and pour into your soul and not pull from your soul.
Mm-hmm.
When they pull it
Mm-hmm.
from your soul, it is a silent death about as bad as high blood pressure or high cholesterol. It
Yes.
is nothing wrong with protecting your energy and protecting your purpose. Once
Mm-hmm.
you identify what it is and those don't align with your purpose, you have no problem saying, okay, anyone who requires you to dim your light, and people say this, but they don't really live up to it.
Mm-hmm.
They can yet shine. They just got to shine down another street in another direction. But in your street, they can shine and you will never align with them and they will never align with your destiny because they
Mm-hmm.
on a different street and you on this street. That's
Right.
why streets have crosses, impasses.
Mm-hmm.
Some come to a dead end, some are
Right.
intersections. And through
Right.
those intersectional lines, that is what relationships are. It's no different than a street and a path that you on in your journey of life.
And they hold boundaries. So for the listeners,
Guess what the boundaries are on the street,
what
Dana?
she just described were you putting up boundaries? Do you have boundaries in your life? Do you recognize them? Do you know what they're for? How they appear? She just gave you the greatest
And when
example
on that journey,
of
like I
that.
talked about the path, guess what
Mm-hmm.
your boundaries are? You got a stop sign, you got a
Right.
yield sign, you got streets with north, south, east, and west on it. You got a
Right.
red light, green light, and a yellow light. That is life. We on the road every day, and that is
Mm-hmm.
how you should look at your life. Is there a red light right here? And
Right.
how long I'm gonna be at this red light?
And stop ignoring it. The yield sign. You got it for a reason. What does it mean? Slow your roll. Pay attention. Wait a minute. Now, did he just cuss out the waiter at the restaurant because the rolls were cold? Oh, well, wait a minute.
Or
Red flag.
did I attempt to express something to this man and he dismissed my words and
Mm-hmm.
my expression of my heart and how I was feeling?
Yes, yes.
Sign.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably make a left turn or a right turn and not go in this direction and be okay with it.
Right. It's not the end. It's not the end.
It's
You
not the
will
end.
meet someone
Those are your
again.
boundaries in life. They all
Mm-hmm.
around you. They all around. And don't be afraid to ask people questions of clarity
Yes.
and kindness. What did you mean by what you said? Because
Yes.
I heard this and I don't want to mistake what I heard or have a miscommunication of misunderstanding from what your intentions were. But can
Mm-hmm.
you tell me so that I'm clear, so that I don't react in a way that it was not intended to be?
Yes.
You
Yes.
get people, and I do this with men and women. They don't even know how to have a conversation of conflict to get to clarity of healthy.
You dated for how long? 4 years. And you're telling me you don't know anything about you telling me you don't know anything about this person. You can't have a conversation about money. You can't have a conversation about where we're living, how we're going to live. How are you getting married? Why are you still in this relationship? That's what the dating is for you
Yeah.
to become in commune with one another and understand, well, all right, I know they don't like to travel, but I like to travel. So how are we going to work that out? I don't want you to think I'm disrespecting you when I go to the aisles with my with my
Right,
friends.
right.
So that communication is the key factor of the relationship.
It's
And you
the
have to be able to
bloodline.
understand, right? And understand who you are.
It
Understand your
is the
likes and
flow
dislikes.
of life, which is the
Yes.
blood that pumps through that relationship, is being able to communicate when you're hurt and not
Yes.
caring that it may come with tears, even if it's a man. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to let your man cry. It's okay for you to be upset and not be labeled as an aggressive, angry
Mm-hmm.
Black woman. You're just asserting and speaking from a space of I need help.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't gonna say that some women don't do that in the wrong way. Some
Mm-hmm.
of us do, but we have to learn and mature in our emotions of how to express them in a way where a man can hear and
Right.
hear with his heart. And sometimes it is our tone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it is our delivery. Sometimes it's the timing in which we decide to approach a certain situation.
Yes,
But
on
that's
both
the
sides.
dating process on
Yes.
both sides. You got to
Yes.
know when to hold them,
Mm-hmm.
when to fold them, when
Pick
to
your
walk
battles
away, and when to...
and tell the truth. Like I do a monthly workshop, right? And we've been covering all of those aspects: boundaries,
Well,
expectations, clarity of communication. And I use the analogy of, are you guys really fighting about the garbage not being taken out? Or is somebody in this little
hmm,
relationship feeling unwanted, unappreciated, taken
yeah,
advantage of? But we're arguing about the garbage being taken out. No, that's not it.
no,
That's not what the argument is about. You have to be able to express how you feel. You feel unwanted or not appreciated, and you have to be able to hear what the other person is saying.
yeah. In totality, I know the heading of your podcast is believing you better. Is or
Mm-hmm.
believe in a better you?
Believe in your better.
Believe in your better.
Mm-hmm.
That meant so much to me when you sent it to me with the invitation, and I said, we don't. Male
Mm-hmm.
or female,
Right.
we really don't believe sometimes that there is better
And we
and that
struggle
we
with
can
that.
have better
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
that
ma'am.
we deserve better. But how do we get to better?
Mm-hmm. And
So,
hopefully that's what this podcast is for. As you know, yes, I'm a licensed therapist, but you might be someplace on the other side of the world or on the other side of the country. There are therapists wherever it is that you live, and you don't have to be down and out just to talk with a therapist about
no,
certain aspects of your life. However, look, I always tell people, and I will forever say it, everybody needs a
they
therapist.
do.
Everybody needs a
They do.
therapist. Why? Because you get to talk out certain feelings and thoughts, because everything you think is not true. Everything everything you think is not correct. So you need to have somebody to help you,
Somebody
bounce
who's
ideas.
neutral, unbiased,
Exactly.
and
Right.
do not care about your way of thinking as you were taught as a kid,
Right.
which could have been
Nope.
wrong, or the things you saw in your life that could have
Mm-hmm.
been wrong and led you to think in a way that is not who you are in this present space. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, I got a therapist on speed dial. You should probably have one too, because there
Right.
are times when you're going to be met with situations where, like, I went to school for HR. So they should call me as a subject matter expert for HR.
Yes.
But I didn't go to school for psychology. I didn't go to school for grief counseling. I should be able to call a subject matter expert like I'm calling a doctor to work on my heart or
Mm-hmm.
any other illness that I
Exactly.
have that specializes in things of the mind. And our mental health breaks down everything else in our body. So I encourage you,
Yes.
listeners, if
Yes.
you do not have a therapist, find one that is suited for you. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to talk to one of a certain demographic or gender, keep looking until you find one that you can connect with and that you are willing to do
Mm-hmm.
the hard work of going inward. Going
That is
inward is
very
almost
good. A
like
very good point.
I'm ready to do. I'm ready to look at all the dirty parts, the crevices of me that
Mm-hmm.
I have not examined, that
Right.
people have said or said, you probably got this kind of attitude. You should look into that. And you dismissed it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the part of looking into you where you're no longer looking in a funny house mirror. It's no longer distorted. When you sit and talk with a therapist or a clinician who is going to help you work through your challenges, work through the
Mm-hmm.
difficulties of things that you were brought up to believe, you are in a better space that you can operate in clarity. You
Right.
can live in peace knowing that I did the work in me and I refuse to go backwards into spaces that I've already come out of.
Mm-hmm.
You won't talk to a therapist. Guess what you're doing? You're living a life of a turnstile,
Right.
a chaos and
Constant.
confusion tunnel, and you don't even know if you're coming or going. You're just repeating the same cycles over and over and over. It's a different space, it's a different place, it's a different face, but it's still you as the common denominator.
Right. So that makes you have the attitude of everybody has this person that, this person this. And so then you create within yourself, well, I don't want to be bothered with people. I don't like people. People
Oh
have
yeah,
all
you
these
have a
hang ups.
horrible anchored bias about yourself.
Yes.
Well, that's just who I am. Well, have you considered to look at who you are and why you get the response
Right.
that you get from people?
Yes.
Because of who, oh, that's just who I am. It doesn't mean that in our people, as a Black community, we shy away from therapy. We think it's for crazy people, or we think it's a stereotype behind going to talk to someone.
Yeah.
No, that is the reason why our Black men, we they build up behaviors that we don't, as women, don't like
Hmm.
because they haven't felt that they were safe in going to talk to someone. And we
Right.
as women, we build up behaviors that are just a paintbrush is given to us as Black women is this, or Black women who are independent or that, because we haven't done the work in ourselves to really tap into why. Why do we communicate the way we do? Why do
Hmm.
we engage with the opposite sex or even the same sex the way that we do? Why do we have conflict with one another? Why do we have interracial segregation amongst us because of the shades and colors of our skin? Why
Hmm.
do we do these things? And why are they so negatively impacted on how we view ourselves and how we share with other women? We can't bond,
Right.
we can't love, we
Right.
can't support because we got these idiosyncrasies and hidden little seeds of jealousy and envy that we haven't dug up
Hmm.
and
And
we
then you
haven't
have
pulled it
the
out to say,
media, yeah, influencing those thoughts.
yeah.
To separate us. But I do
And
want to
only
share
a
with them.
therapist can help you get there.
Right, right. So, but for the listeners, just so that just a little bit of information, if you have insurance, you can call the insurance company and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a therapist," and you let them know you want a female, you don't want to go, more than 20 miles away from your home. They have filters and they can give you a list. And
And
it's
you
up
can
to you.
say, I want an African American.
Yes, yes. African American, you can say you're looking for a male or a female. Um, I've had people call and say, "Well, your voice, you sound a little young. Do you mind if I ask how old you are?" And I and I laugh and I say, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm probably older than you are." Right. But I let them know. That doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't get offended by that because think about it. If you're 50 and older, you grew up a little different from
A
people
20-year-old.
that, yes, and 30, right? So they do want someone who can understand their era of the way that they were brought up and the things that
Yeah.
they're going through. So I do always say everyone needs a therapist. Um,
Yeah.
so now, all right, we're coming to the end, but I want for people to be able to get in touch with you in the event that they wanted to invite you as to come as a speaker or get some
Okay.
more information.
Well,
So,
I am Janelle Dominique Thomas. I do public speaking. I do motivational speaking, inspirational speaking. I moderate panels.
Okay.
I am the Vice President of the National Association of African Americans in Human Resources for the state of Michigan over membership. I also am on the membership committee for Detroit SHRM, which is the Detroit Science Society of Human Resources and Management. My field has been in HR, employee relations, and labor relations. I'm certified in all of those areas, including workplace investigations. I'm
Mm.
also certified from Tennessee State University in employment law and labor law, which I have obtained in 2023. I'm a graduate of Cornell University, where I go and teach organizations about what they scary to say, diversity, equity, and inclusion, but it's truly people and culture and belonging. It's just a
Mhm.
different way of saying it. I do
Okay.
coaching for young people and adults on interview preparation, interview skills, 30 second, 60-second. They call it an elevator speech. I call it an
Mhm.
anywhere pitch because you
Okay.
don't know who you're going to meet and how you
Right.
need to be properly prepared to sell who you are, what you bring, and how you can help make that person some money. You only got a short period of time to do it. I
Mhm.
teach young people that. I do workforce readiness coaching. I sit on the board for Urban Alliance, which is a Black nonprofit in 5 different states in the US where we provide internships, paid internships to underrepresented
Okay.
minorities. And we are doing so well in that space. I love that organization. I currently am the Director of Human Resources and Operations for Ellie's Place, which is a healing center for children who are struggling through grief and
Mhm.
need support and resources from the ages of 4 to 18. So I travel right now through Ann Arbor, Lansing, and Grand Rapids as the HR director for that organization. And this is my first time ever being a nonprofit. So, and I love it so much because I'm learning so much, but I'm so passionate about the mission of helping others. How I can be reached on Facebook is Janelle D, period, capital D, Thomas. Same thing on LinkedIn, it's Janelle D. Thomas. And on Instagram, I believe my kids put me as Janelle underscore Chanel, which is my other middle name, one.
Okay.
But I'm also a member of the Order of Eastern Star for the International Free and Modern Accepted Masons. So I do a significant amount of community service work in that space and leading others to understand what the meaning of sisterhood in a fraternal under a fraternal order, which is the
Okay.
first sorority of all sororities. And we're not a sorority, but we are a Masonic fraternity under the Order of Masonry. I work heavily in that organization and have a presence of excellence in that space. Uh, I can say that's how you can reach me. If you want to know anything else about me, you can Google me.
Okay.
I am Google. I like when people can Google you. I think it's important. But I can be reached out on LinkedIn or Facebook. I like to bake. Peach cobblers. I like to decorate. As you can see, I like to decorate. I'm looking at your background too, Dana. It's well decorated. I like to
Yes.
do that. That's some of the fun
Yes.
things that I like to do. And I have 2 amazing children. You mentioned
Oh,
them briefly. My daughter, Myria, and my son, Michael. Myria is a
okay.
junior at Tennessee State, going to be a senior, almost coming
Mhm.
out. And my son is a
Congratulations.
sophomore. Yeah, he's a sophomore at Morehouse College. And he is currently on tour dancing as a background dancer for Saucy Santana. So, those of your guests who are interested in the entertainment industry, my son is a part of it. Um, I'm glad to be that mom that's my number one job over everything else that I said that I do.
Right.
My
Right.
first job is to be a mom and a totally involved parent with my children. That's why they have been so accomplished in everything that they have touched and done because I want the best for them. But anyone that I interact with, I want to see people win. So
Okay.
I'm open to it. Call me for moderation, sit on the panel, speaker, tell my journey, tell my story.
Good.
I've done several keynote speeches and speaking to college, not high college. I would like to get to the college, high school graduations here in the city. And I love the work that I do in the community.
Okay. All right. All right. Very good. So we're going to have to get together and
Yeah.
do some more things together. So for the listeners who may try and get in contact with me, you can contact me at let's talk with danabell.com. That's my website. Or you can reach me at Dana at let's talk with danabell.com. All right.
All right,
I
Dana.
greatly
Thank you so
appreciate
much for
you again
having me.
for the time for us having this good talk. I know you gave a bunch of good tips and enlightenment. I think that's the
Yeah,
most
we had some
important.
good finger snapping moments in this conversation.
Yes, yes. Enlightenment, because some you do have some people who are listening to this right now who feel that they're alone, that they're walking through this ordeal by themselves. And we are here to let you know that you are not. You can always gather some additional information from the national hotline number for domestic violence.
Yes.
Also, I have a free ebook about domestic violence on my website. So again, that's let's talk with danabell.com. Go there and download the free ebook. It gives you some tips. It has um, a chart, the power and control chart or wheel is on there. It's
Yep.
in the ebook. So um, I'm so happy to do this. I'm glad that you accompanied me. You
Thank
allowed me to
you. I
interview
enjoyed the
you.
time and I believe it was well spent. And I
Yes,
hope
thank you.
my journey and my story of triumph. I don't call myself a victim or a survivor. It
Mhm.
is a story of triumph.
It is. It is. And I agree totally with you. I thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
Okay, good.